Calgary. I moved to Calgary in August of 1970. Seems just like yesterday, and I've stayed in Calgary ever since. Well, I've been involved in sport in my entire life, either as a volunteer, going back even to my days when I was in high school in Saskatoon, believe it or not. And then I was fortunate enough to make a career change when I was 30, got out of the accounting business and went into media relations, and had a very good career with the University of Calgary, where I was sports information director and then did some fund development before retiring in September of 2012. I believe this, that having been involved in sport at various levels at my entire life, I strongly believe in the preservation of Alberta sports history for future generations. And the vehicle for that is the Alberta Sport Hall of Fame. Because if you don't acknowledge and preserve your history, I feel you don't have a future. Young people today need to know who came before them. They need to know who helped them get to where they are today. That's important because you look at, for example, Canada Winter Games that were conceived in 1967. Well, those things, and we're in Red Deer here, about 4 or 5 years ago. Those are the stepping stone for future athletes, and people who were the administrators helped conceive those things, just like the Alberta Summer Games, and it provides a goal for these young people to look up to. People in the Alberta Sport Hall of Fame are role models for today's young people. Don't forget who helped you along the way. Plain and simple. I believe that if you're in a hall, I think person should be able to help contribute to that hall. I think it's an honor and it's a privilege to be in the hall. That is why I've continued to give back to the hall, either in terms of time or in terms of monetary donations. It is a taxable donation. That is tremendous. It's there's vehicles there to contribute. The gift of securities, which is I've done, and there's nothing wrong with leaving a bequest to the hall. There's nothing wrong with helping the hall, because without the hall surviving, there's not going to be a preservation of sport history in the province. There's been a lot of fun along the way, a lot of laughs along the way when I've been involved at the University of Calgary, but no, I don't have one at all, really. What I do, excuse me, what I would like to conclude by saying this is that don't be afraid to give back to the organizations that have helped you along the way and that have recognized you. I believe in giving back, and there's nothing wrong with supporting the little people that have helped you along the way. I feel that if you're in a hall, I think it's incumbent of the people that are in the hall to help support the hall. No matter what, there's no such thing as a small donation. Sum of the parts equal the